But if you get lucky and if you see more selling, that you absolutely want to start looking at that level. Hey everybody, hope you had a great trading day. We're going to be jumping around a little bit. We're going to start here with Black Rifle Coffee. So this is one from the top 10. We did this one on Saturday and obviously we had a great day with it. Stock was up from the open about what? Peaked out at about 33%. I mean, it's kind of hard not to have a great day when something like this happens when you scale out of it. But after hours, they announced that they are going to start the redemption of warrants. Think about the redemption of warrants the same way as somebody doing a secondary. Warrants are the ability of a company to have a side share, or what some people would even refer to as, quote, a green shoe. And it's just a way of thinking about a secondary. They have a bunch of options they can exercise. Most likely it's the private equity guys. They're going to do that. And that dropped the stock back down. At one point, it dropped it to this level. Now, I'm going to show you something, take these off and give you something that even if you weren't interested in tonight, that we did in the trading room already. See this level? If you're fortunate enough to get back to this level, it's probably a really good spot to buy it. So why is that spot a pretty good spot to buy it? See this 2280 right there? That's exactly where we got to. So right now that we're up in that trade about, I guess about $2.50. But if you get lucky and if you see more selling, that you absolutely want to start looking at that level and possibly utilizing that level to build a position. Now, this could be all over the map tomorrow based upon what's transpired. It really doesn't matter. What matters is longer term, it's going to work this off and then work its way back up. If you're not interested in buying this, just let it set itself up. But as we went through in that top 10 video, this coffee war, it's not over. This is just beginning. People are changing the way that they're buying coffee. I want to discuss a couple other names that are on the radar but just aren't ready for prime time, but I would strongly recommend that you kind of take a look at. So right here, this NVIDIA trade, I really like what we saw as far as holding this level, but this inside day, I'm not crazy about having an inside day with where the NASDAQ went to today, and we're going to get to that at the end. But big if here, but if we can get over this level right here, and we can get over at 275, I would be very interested in this break. And the width and how this is going and how we are not flipping here, right? We didn't break the 50 today. This pretty much has a lot of positives, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So keep that in mind. Now, I would not rush into it. I would make sure that it breaks and goes from there. I'm going to do this right now so you kind of get it. See, we broke below the 50 on the stocks, and then we kind of just went sideways. So we're still under the 200. The NASDAQ's not under the 200. And that kind of leads me to what I want people to start looking at. So the disparity between biotech and semiconductors is huge right now. Now, I tried this once already and it didn't work, but this ARCG is setting up here. And if you see this 49.18 flip, you may want to look at this tomorrow. It might be something worthwhile getting involved with. We're starting to see biotech kick up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click all notifications because I do put out private videos. If you saw today's private video, you would have seen the levels on Tesla for it to break. Also, make sure you subscribe to the newsletter because some people are saying they're not seeing the videos, even though they're subscribed and all notifications. So I'm going to start sending them out periodically via a random newsletter. But anyway, see this level right here, 135.52. That's what you're looking for, that level right there on IBB. But look at how much more developed this is acting than the SOX. And that's what you're looking for. It would be nothing for IBB to become the new leader here. So watch this 135.52. See if ARCG can flip this 49.18 tomorrow. I do like NVIDIA, but I would just branch out a little bit. And we should probably talk about the elephant in the room a little bit here with what Elon did with buying a 10% stake. Look, I don't know how much he's really going to do at this company and how little he's really going to do, but let's just focus on these levels right here. So that's your range. Now, off the open, I don't think this was very clear at all. I thought this was very difficult off the open because you gap down and you basically have a bearish engulfing right here, right? Then you form this little pattern, but it's really kind of wonky because you get out at 48 and technically this pattern should really only get you to 48.66. So you're looking at this and going, okay, well, that might get me 50, 60 cents, but then it just kept on pushing. You flip this level and it became support. Remember, support and resistance lines flip, and you can see how that happened right here. Then you turn around and now maybe you're going to keep going. what you want to focus on is how do we react when we get to that 200-day moving average, right? That's going to be the real rub. How are you going to react when you get to this level? And that's really what you want to see. So keep that in mind. I'm not ruling this out as a possible trade for tomorrow. I do like it. I do think that at 9%, he's definitely going to have some kind of effect on the board. I don't think there's any question about that. And now you're just going to have to see what kind of effect that is and how that's received. So, he is, I believe, the largest shareholder right now. So he will have some say. But we'll have to see how that plays out. But watch this level. I think we all agree that we all love Twitter. And maybe this will be a net positive for it. We just don't know yet. And we just don't know how, integral he's going to be with the company. But watch that 51.37 level. I think that's a really important level to watch tomorrow. You are just bouncing around this evening. You're not really doing much after hours with the name. And let's just talk about Tesla that just had a great day. I just want to focus on this. This is really very pivotal. And you have this major resistance that you broke today. And frankly, I'm shocked by it because the numbers that came out were in line. They weren't that great. You're coming straight down here and you flip here, which is good because you flipped that higher high, but it just exploded. It was a hard trade because you needed to get above this and then you need to get above these wicks. And I don't like playing with wicks like this when you're on resistance levels because they rejected for a reason. So now that we flipped this level, it gets a little more interesting because now we don't really have a lot of resistance up here. And how do we know that we don't have a lot of resistance? All you have to do is use volume by price. If you use volume by price, you can see that this was your last resistance point here. Now this gets a lot easier. So this has the potential to continue to go. So what I would do is just simply watch that level tomorrow and see if you can flip that 1150 level. That would be of interest. So this was something we added already in the trading room today when it flipped here, but I want to point out another level to you, and that's one of the reasons I left this VWAP in, volume by price VWAP. You see where you closed right on volume by price VWAP? That's really a pretty pivotal level. And the other thing I like doing when you have like peaks like this, you can use an anchored VWAP and it'll kind of tell you where you need to get to really flip, and that's where you need to get to. So you have room here in TQQ. Now, if you look at this on the Qs, you did everything right. So let's get rid of these indicators for a moment and just read price so you understand what I'm saying. As you come down and you flip right here and you break over, right? So you flipped, broke over. Now, if you missed this run and this was your pullback and you didn't get involved, and look at this bar, solid green bar, right? That's going to be a real issue and you're going to wind up chasing performance. So now that becomes your stop. Now, if this breaks through this level, which you could easily do tomorrow, you're going to see massive buying across the board, like just literally across the board. They will start buying everything they can because they're going to have to put risk on because they're already behind. They were massively over invested up here, meaning the funds, and they were massively under invested down here. So that leads us to believe that they are now underperforming greatly. And we can look at those quarterly performance numbers to verify that and then see what they're going to do. But to me, if you break through this, you're going to see a lot of buying. So keep that in mind. I do want to talk about the VIX and I do want to talk about the 10 years so you can understand this a little bit better. Okay, we kind of started breaking down here. This is trading up today. This is an odd print. Right now I have this at 1857. So I just want to kind of point this out so you can see where you're at because there is a trend line right here. Okay, and technically this is really where you're closing. So keep that in mind. You're actually down on the close. You're actually below that. So that's leading you to believe that yes, you could run higher tomorrow. So keep that in mind. I definitely think it's a strong possibility. Now, the question becomes, what do we do about that? Well, we have to figure out where's that money going to come from. And right now, this is selling off again. So these are notes from the newsletter. But you could see how we're selling off again on yield. So they're selling the yield. That's exactly what we want to see. So if they keep selling the yield and the market's rallying, the inflows are going to go to equities, and that's what we want to see. For those that keep asking me about the crude oil trades and the commodity trades, look, this is very simple. What you see going on here is you're on this line, and we broke this doji. So when asked today, I was asked on Twitter and also in the trading room about are you buying these when they're down? You're always buying these when they're down. And the answer is yes, I'm very interested. My concern is that I need to see a reversal bar here. I don't understand why things are accelerating while we're seeing the sell-off. So I need to understand it better. And I really want this to trigger and get above this. And now if this triggers over this tomorrow, this is just continuous futures on crude Brent. If that flips that level tomorrow, I will most certainly be looking about risk on and putting more commodity trades on. That's it. That's all I have. Everybody have a great evening. Trade to win tomorrow.